I'm showing you the A wall strat on Inferno. Then I'm going to show the A wrap, the B fake smokes, and the B mollies, and a couple little things around the map. So first things first for the A wall. Essentially what's going to happen is we are going to, early in the round, smoke truck side and fake a little bit of arch aggression with some pop flashes and double peaks. Then as that smoke is fading, we're going to hotbox this truck and create a smoke wall, plant in the corner, and play post plants out of sight with one player lurking up in apartments and hooking behind the smoke and trying to catch any CT that's wiggling around truck or trying to figure out what's going on or spamming. There should be some easy pickings as well as showing a bit of dominance. So first things first, I'll show it to you from the support player perspective. The support player is going to be the one smoking truck side. In order to do that, you hook yourself into this gap right here and aim a little bit, aim one hair, crosshair left of the top of the chimney. And after a whole bunch of auto correcting, which you'll see, smoke will land in truck side, but without fucking boiler, allowing this person to triple peek with the rest of the team. After he throws that smoke, they come over here and aim at the bottom right of the electronic box, and then as running along the wall without moving the crosshair, as they approach this other side of this electronic box, they let go of the flash, and it should pop flash arch really well. It's pretty forgiving too. And then for the peak. They also have the bomb on the strat, and after throwing that in triple peeking, it's going to come over here and watch porch alongside the rest of, alongside the other players, and just kind of prevent any aggression as that smoke fades. Then they're going to pop flash into the arch itself, or into sight rather, from truck side, and then plant inside the smoke. It's important to plant facing outwards, outside of the site, because that way if you get die or get sprayed down, the bomb will fall out this way, and you'll be able to recover the round. After the smoke's planted and the wall of smokes are there, hopefully the apartments player's got a pick or something like that. You just want to play post plants pretty far back, really passive, and you want to take control of brackets and apartments and show dominance that way. Next up, I'll show you from the opper's perspective, or, you know, whoever does this. They keep their utility the whole entire time, and their whole job here is just to triple peek alongside the boiler player and the support player with the support player's flash, triple peek arch, and then watch for any rotations late in the round from arch side or CT. They also have all their utility, like I said. They'll be in charge of supporting the retake, if at all necessary. You know, you can throw flashes like up here and peek with the stuff like that. The third player, I guess, in this strat, they're going to be in charge of hotboxing the truck. So in order to do this, you go to the clothespin, or the clothesline shadow, go to the little jizz circle that's closest to it. Then you're going to go 4 support beams over. Top left, there's 2 arrows in between. Up to X marks the spot. Over here, you see the X. You're going to want to go up in between. Up to X marks the spot. I think I just messed it up again. Alright, here you go. And it should hotbox the truck. After they hotbox the truck, it's their job to watch the banana aggression from the CTs, whether it be from above Mexi or whatever. And it's this person and the brackets player are basically worrying about the rotations. They're primary people worrying about the rotations, and it's important that they communicate. Especially if the brackets player or the person watching the arch rotations is playing from within brackets. It's important that the person watching the banana push doesn't play too hyper passive, because you want to make sure your teammate doesn't get shot in the back. So just make sure there's a lot of communication, and obviously, like I said, both of these players have most of the utility, so they're going to be kind of the clutch players, the anchors post-plant. It's also important to note that this banana player should worry about watching, or worry about having to retake apartments should, you know, apartments not work, because it's more important to have apartments control than have somebody aggressively watching behind you, because you can, you know, essentially watch from behind you if your whole team's in brackets, or whole team's in apartments from within. The fourth player on the strat, they're going to be the boiler player. So typically you're going to want this to be the person who works apartments on that default, like on your default. They're going to get into boiler however they must, however slow. It's not really necessary. The strat doesn't need to be run too quickly into the round. They're going to flash under the yellow flowers over here, and then peek with their flash and the support player's flash. Now the reason that this flash is important is because if there's an opper or a rifler holding from arch side on CT, if they're holding tight like this, their support player's flash is going to destroy them. And if they're holding a little bit more passive, then the boiler player's flash is going to destroy them. And like I said, the main goal of this strat is to have the arch player on the CT team end up in the arch itself, because that'll pull over a rotator to moto to try and set up a crossfire, and that's exactly what you want. You want to pull a lot of the CT attention away from truck side. So after they throw that flash and do the triple peek, their job is to throw the smoke that connects with the hot box and the plant smoke. It's a little finicky, and essentially it needs to land in a sweet spot from pretty much here to here, because that'll prevent the hotbox gap, as well as some other intricacies that I'll explain in a sec. But to do this smoke, you want to aim underneath the blue window whilst just revealing the next blue window without moving. This should work, I think. I am throwing smoke. Even then, it's a little bit off, obviously. As you can see, there's a gap there. It needs to be felt out. It's going to take a little bit of tinkering, and there's no real great way to line up that I know about right now. Now the reason I was explaining that the smoke needs to be kind of perfect is, obviously, if it does land perfectly, you'll be able to cover that gap while still being deep enough alongside the plant smoke to prevent CTs from finding architecture in order to spray down your planner, as well as not see feet. If it's too deep, obviously this, let me speed it up a little bit, this gap would go kind of uninhibited whatsoever. Obviously this gap would go kind of uninhibited, and that would be extremely detrimental. And if it's too shallow, let's say it's ultra shallow, for example, you cover up that gap, but then you leave CTs with the ability to see feet. And as you can see, I mean, having it ultra shallow could be more beneficial, but in a perfect world, it lands right just a little bit ahead of the bumper of the truck. It'll land kind of in this vicinity, which is what you're looking for. So it's going to take a little bit of tinkering from the players playing boiler. But, yeah. After they throw that smoke and the planter is happening, it's their job to make sure that no cheeky player is trying to climb up top or use smokes for one-ways, jumping on top of the truck, just watching the smoke push, and trying as best as they can to not get flashed, because obviously the CT is going to be pounding flashes through the smoke. But for the most part, just trying to keep the planter alive, and if the bomb does, you know, pop out, then to get up there and plant it again. The last player on the strat is kind of going to be the lurker, I guess, for lack of a better term. They throw the plant smoke, and then they're going to wiggle their way into apartments. In order to throw the plant smoke, all you do is just hook behind the door. And from the right side of the support beam, you just go one crosshair up, one little left click, and it should bounce a couple times. I'll show it to you, actually. Bounce a couple times, and land right in the gap. As the smoke is being launched in the air, for timing purposes, I'll rethrow it again. As it's in the air, this player can walk through apartments, and they should be just about a little less than halfway through long haul as it pops, and that'll give them the perfect opportunity to find players that just begin their kind of spray down, or the rotator that hopefully you pulled to moto should be on his way back towards double, and hopefully you can hook behind or catch a pit player, you know, as well as showing a lot of apartments dominance. And again, it's important for this person to communicate with their other players if they need reinforcements, I guess, to secure apartments, because that's kind of the linchpin of the post plant in this strat. So yeah, that's the A wall. It's obviously not going to be a default, but it's something cheeky to get the bomb down, something to mix it up. And it works. It should work really well against a lot of passive teams. So yeah. All right, so now I'm going to show you the A wrap strat. This one we're going to be, I think we should run a lot of the time. It's kind of, it could be run as kind of a default A take, because truck side's awful. So I'll show it to you from the perspective of the support player, because the entry fragger is not throwing anything, and the second entry is kind of doing this, is following the same path, so it's pretty self-explanatory. So initially, the support player is going to come here and throw the arch smoke, so you just get stuck on the left side of this little wall thing, and then you go up from the right side of the window to the height of the tower, and then walking through, and that one should smoke into the arch. There's tons of ways to smoke into arch. It's just kind of the one I know. After he smokes arch, he's going to frantically run over here and throw the pop flash from before. He's going to molly into gay spot, and it's important to try and wing that molly as hard as possible so that you leave a little path, so that we don't have to all wait for the molly. I'll just wait till somebody pops out, and then he's going to support the first and second entry as they cross around Moto. There's a couple ways to flash it. This one's good to flash above the wall. But obviously you could just like whip it off that way if you really had to, or really felt compelled. Obviously the option, if you can hear the player running away, or you saw them at the last second sprinting away at a gay spot or whatever, you know gay spot's clear and you don't need to molly, you can throw this flash, and that way you can peek and spray simultaneously, and they're forced to run away. The second entry is following the same path, but is in charge of smoking off truck side. So there's a couple ways you can smoke off truck side. This way works well if you don't want the second entry to join you and just have them kind of stay back. You know that the other team plays rotation heavy through banana, and you want them to pick off a few players. All you gotta do is back up into Mexi and then just aim at the top left of that AC unit. It's really forgiving, that smoke, because there's a lot of autocorrect with the way the street is. Like, I just threw it from a completely different spot, and it's gonna work the same. But if you do want that person to join you, let me speed up and make these smokes disappear really quick. If you do want the second entry to join you around to Moto, all you do is hide the second turquoise window completely while rubbing your ass on the wall here, and then aim at the bottom of the window, in between, like halfway in between. Little run toss. And that'll work fine. The benefit of having the second entry come with you is that you can actually have them throw that flash, and that way your support can set up for a good way to throw that flash, or set up for the Moto flash so that they can both double peek around the corner. The last two players, they're just throwing the smokes. They're going to be smoking in front of Pit here, and on top of the truck itself. So the one that lands on top of the truck is super finicky and really difficult, and the teammate I have who's throwing it, Seozin, is going to be chucking it, and he's got a view model lineup for it, but I'll show you both of them as best as I can. So in order to smoke in front of Pit, what you do is you run up to this like 3 branches. You just want to put yourself where it splays apart, and then go up from the window until your crosshair is touching the bottom for me, and then a little bit to the left, and that should just skin this side of the truck. Boop. And I'm gonna go perfectly deep enough to cover both sides of Dildo. And then as far as the one that lands on top of the truck, like I said, this one's super difficult, but I'll try and make it work. It's where there's the 2 Jistains touching each other with the vertical line. Line up on the vertical line. Go up from the center of the window, a little bit north of X marks the spot, and then put your hopes and dreams into it, and believe, not the best in the world, but it'll work. But you kind of get the idea, the gist. It's very, very difficult. Millimeters, you know, are the difference between it winging off to double box and stuff like that. But anyways, the point is they throw those 2 smokes, and then they can creep through the smoke if they feel compelled, try and catch somebody at double box in graveyard, or go through apartments, whatever They're the last two players, obviously, and they can do whatever they want because they don't have the bomb. Oh, and I forgot to mention the bomb is on the support player, and obviously you want to plant around library. So yeah, that's the wrap strat. It's easy, simple, quick. Works really well against teams that like to turtle up or play pit heavy. You can lock them out completely, get the bomb down, and force them onto you. So yeah. Alright, so I'm going to show you how to throw the B fake smokes. We can throw the center site and CT from all the way over here, and then we'll have one B player kind of faking by himself, and I'll explain it. So in order to smoke CT, you see these two repeated blotches right here. You want to aim above the roof of the first blotch, rather, right on the line. And then you want to jump through as soon as your crosshair gets to the top blotch, and that should smoke CT. In order to smoke the center of site, you want to come to our favorite clothesline in the world, move over to this big collection of paint, aim at the biggest splotch of it, and then see these arches, there's like there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You want to go to the middle one, top left of the arch, and just jump through. And that should land center of sight. This one's a little finicky, but yeah, it should work. You combine this with having a player who throws the spool smoke, I think, is a good idea. Then you can have them pop flash themselves in, you know, however they need to. Should be plenty of smokes for them to get around. And then you want them to just kind of work the headshot ledge and throw the best fake they can. You'll have 2 remaining smokes over at A site, assuming you guys did a 4-1 split. And in that case, I mean, you could throw, you know, a vanilla truck take, something like this. Try and get bombed. And obviously, you're going to have to contend with just the pit player, but for the most part, hopefully you should pull a rotator with that. It's pretty convincing. I mean, 3 smokes and a bunch of flashes should be enough. So, yeah. Alright, I'm going to show you how to molly B now. In order to molly first oranges, what you want to do is you want to just kind of make the window flush in front of you. Bash yourself into the back of the car. And then you want to aim from the left side of that support beam a little bit above that antenna. Just jump toss. And it'll work. Obviously, I mean, it literally landed, it's got every corner. In order to molly second oranges, a little bit more difficult, it's a little more finicky. You want to come to the grout line of the door. You want to go from the right side of this support beam past the center point of the antenna, the supporting whatever. You want to go a little bit above that, and then you want to jump through a melee. Shit, corner. Yep. It's a little finicky, but it'll work for the most part. 98% of the time. Risk I'm willing to take. Let's try that again. Yeah, see? I mean, it's kind of a toss-up, but it should work most of the time. And then in order to molly new box, everybody knows this one, you climb up the wall of this, aim to the left, and just left click. There you go. That's how you molly all of B site. Alright, lastly I'm going to go over a whole bunch of stuff for both T side and CT side. Just flashes and smokes and a collection of just miscellaneous stuffs. So in order to double smoke mid, you want to get yourself into this corner at a spawn, and then see the 3 sections of the window. You want to go to the second highest section, just put your crosshair right in the middle, just jump toss, and that will go right down mid. Double smoke it so they can't peek you. Get yourself a little control, and goes deep enough that if you overcommit to one side, it might keep somebody from pushing. But for the most part, I mean, it's used for map control. You can smoke top car banana. If they're aggressive banana players, you just go in this corner, aim halfway in between this wire, like that. Just left click. It's a little finicky because when it hits this ground, it can get a little wonky. Worst case scenario, it'll turn into Not a one-way. I mean, you can definitely see it, but yeah. Let me try that one more time. I might have been a little bit too hasty. Maybe it wasn't all the way in the corner. There you go. That's where it's supposed to go. Mistake. And that one is definitely not a one-way at all. They can jump and see you, but I mean, it's a good way to get banana control, and they should be. I mean, they're not going to be doing this, and if they are, I mean, shoot them. Important note, when you're going up banana, most people, you know, just wing a flash like this, and some of their teammates get whited because it lands above car. But if you're going to do this, you should kind of, I mean, you can feel it out, but just hide yourself from car. And then aim kind of high and just walk toss it. And it'll get the right distance every time. And should catch them turning this corner. Rip dead bot. Should catch them turning this corner and white them and prevent any aggression. Okay. Those super high sky flashes, an opera can just hide from, peek out, get a free pick, and then walk away. So yeah, when you're flashing, like I said, keep the angle tight, and just walk toss while aiming high, and your teammates won't get blind at all, even if they're out a little bit wide. I mean, obviously, there's like flashes like that and stuff. If you want to smoke, if you want to hotbox truck, you can just come to this corner of bench, and aim dead center on this antenna, and that should hotbox truck if I'm right. Yep. If you want to smoke arch side, you should always aim right for that chimney, because it'll get caught in the tighter part of the corridor, and will always smoke. Even that one's like the worst one possible, and it's still completely fine. I mean, anytime you do it, it just did the same thing twice. That's pretty ridiculous. Anyways, for the most part, it works. Point is, even if you mess it up, it'll work. But there you go. Oh yeah. This is the screen flash. This one's really, really good. And it's something we should definitely integrate if you're an apartments player. You come to the L on the other side of the door, because there's another L right here. You come to the L on the right side of the door. You should see a smiley face. Why can't I see it right now? I think I'm going blind. What the heck? Where is it? Oh, here we go. See the one-eyed smiley? There's like one eye in a line. You just complete the smiley, get a little run top. I don't want to get blind by it. That's the only reason I didn't go out with it. But you can run out with it, and it blinds the guy on balk every time. Should definitely throw this if you're an apartments player. And we should integrate that into the wall strap. Let's see. Any T-sided stuff for B that I can think of? No, I don't think so. Everybody knows all the smokes and stuff. Yeah, I think that's it. CT side, I have a bunch of stuff though. For A players on CT side, to flash arch behind you, a lot of people, you know, they try and run and do it literally. Just, I wonder if you, no, you can't. Smack your face on this pillar, aim at the bottom of that. Done. Every time. Okay? And it clears perfectly. If you run throw, it'll go too far. They'll see it. It's a waste of your time. Don't even bother. To do this pop flash, aim right at the top of the line, holding both mouse buttons. Pop flash. You can left click it too, I think. And it should work as well. It goes a little higher, but this one's obviously the best. Like, that one's god tier, but that one's still really good. I think you can do another alternative of it, doing something. And that one you can peek with. Retaking A site from arch side. You should aim bottom left of that A. And it'll pop flash down here. God flash. Literally God flash. Obviously that flash off there. What else? Oh, this is also a screen flash. It's nuts. Let's go over to the B side really quick. God smoke. Come over here. Aim above the top right of the pillar, like right here. After getting yourself hooked on the fountain. And it should God smoke, which obviously you just come up here and shoot at feet. There's another one way, you just get in the corner, aim literally straight down. Then you can come in this corner and use this as a one way. If you have a teammate at sandbags, let me speed up time and get rid of the smoke. If you have a teammate at sandbags and you're supporting him, or he's aggro at all, you want to crouch and aim at the bottom left side of the bell. What that'll do is it'll pop flash the crap out of everybody banana. It's an amazing flash. Nip uses this a lot. Freiburg always throws this flash. Freiburg, whatever, for his teammates. What else is there, banana? Obviously, like this one way, you just right click a smoke, obviously. Oh! This smoke, when you're a B player, if somebody's roaming around for ops, literally out of spawn, you run straight here. As fast as you can set it up, you do that. Your opper should have a timing that's similar like this. Take a shot, smoke will plume and save him, and he can flash his way out. After you throw the smoke, you can post up something like that, and then you can have your opper throw that nip flash I just talked about. As far as in B site, obviously all those flashes, but in order to throw the new box one, there's this smudge right here. At this smudge level, it clears new box, I think. Oh, that's really weird. I'm having weird issues with that, apparently. Why is it doing that? Why is it getting stuffed in weird ways? Oh, it's because I was up on that ledge. Oh. There you go. I was up on that weird little ledge. But there you go. Yeah. Ba-da-bum. Oh. This. Oops, daisy. If you have someone in emo on the other team, you just get caught on nothingness. If you want to retake emo, you can jump up and climb around. You'll destroy him every time. Literally no chance. Oh, a couple things. If it's smoked on retake. One, if you come in this corner and you aim at this brown brick level alongside the wall, you can literally come here and spray off the side of the wall, and that'll be exactly headshot level for the plant here. I'll light it up a little bit with show impact so you can see what I'm talking about. See? So right here, that's planter head level, and then you can continue around just tracing the wall, and you should be able to kill the planter. Also, if it's smoked, you want to molly new box. Just hook yourself in this corner. You can see these little knuckle things, these weird exposed bricks. You want to aim just kind of at the bottom one, but maybe a little above. Run. And not do that. The longer you run... Oh, wait, was I aiming at the wrong brick? Yeah, sorry, I meant this one. And running toss, and it'll get in. Yeah, my mistake. Aiming at the wrong one. This one right here. Let me get rid of the show impact. And the longer you run, the better. Better to run long than short. Just remember that for this one. Boopity boop. Okay, okay. So yeah. So I think that's most of it. Let me just think. Yeah, I think that's it.